Okay, so I know what you're thinking. Going undercover as my ex-boyfriend's assistant sounds like the plot of a cheesy rom-com, and honestly, you're not wrong. But hear me out, my ex, let's call him Alex, and I ended things. Let's just say it was messy. We were together for 3 years, and the breakup felt like a whirlwind of confusion and unspoken words. A few months later, I'm scrolling through job listings because a girl's gotta eat, and I see it. An anonymous post for a personal assistant. The description was so specific. So, Alex, he needed someone to organize his chaotic life, manage his schedule, and basically be his right-hand person. The pay was good, and a little voice in my head, the chaotic, story-seeking one, said, "Do it. What's the worst that could happen?" So I did it. I created a whole new persona. Meet Chloe, a super organized, no-nonsense professional with a killer resume I may have slightly embellished. I bought a new pair of glasses, tied my hair up in a severe bun, and practiced deeper, more professional voice. I figured he wouldn't recognize me. It had been 6 months, and I was counting on him being too self-absorbed to notice. The interview was over Zoom, which was perfect. I kept my webcam quality just blurry enough and my lighting just dim enough. And guess what? He bought it. He hired Chloe on the spot. I was officially in. The first day was a mixture of sheer panic and adrenaline. I walked into his fancy, minimalist apartment, and my heart was pounding out of my chest. It was so weird being back in his space, but as a complete stranger, he barely looked up when I came in. He just grunted a "Good morning, Chloe," and pointed to a mountain of paperwork. Perfect. The less eye contact, the better. My first task was to organize his schedule, and wow, was it a disaster. Double-booked meetings, missed appointments, and a reminder to buy more of that weird green juice. It was a flashback to our entire relationship. I used to be the one who managed all this. Seeing it all laid out, I realized just how much I did for him and how much he took it for granted. But I wasn't there to get mad. I was on a mission, though I wasn't entirely sure what that mission was yet. Maybe I wanted closure. Maybe I wanted revenge. Or maybe I just wanted to see if he'd changed at all. For the first week, I was the perfect assistant. I color-coded his files. I confirmed all his appointments. I even found that weird green juice he liked. I was so good at my job, he started to rely on me. He'd say things like, "Chloe, you're a lifesaver," or "What would I do without you?" And every time, I'd just give a polite, professional smile while screaming internally. The irony was just too much. I was listening in on his business calls, handling his personal errands. I knew who he was meeting for dinner, what projects he was stressed about. It was like having a backstage pass to his life, a life I was no longer a part of. And the more I learned, the more I saw a side of him I hadn't seen before. I started noticing small things. He was trying to be more organized on his own. He was reading self-help books, the same ones I used to recommend. He was even trying to cook, which was hilarious because the man could burn water. I once found a sticky note on his fridge that just said, "Remember to call Mom." It was a tiny thing, but it hit me. That was something I always had to remind him to do. Was he actually growing up? It was confusing. Part of me was proud of him, and another part of me was annoyed. Why couldn't he have been this person when we were together? The line between Chloe the assistant and me, his ex, started to blur. One afternoon, he was on a really stressful work call. He was pacing back and forth, running his hands through his hair. I could see he was about to lose it. Old habits die hard, I guess. I walked over, placed a cup of chamomile tea on his desk, his favorite for when he is stressed, and a small note that said, "Take a 5-minute break." "You've got this." I didn't say a word, just went back to my work. After his call, he came over to my desk. He looked at me, really looked at me, for what felt like the first time. He said, "Thank you, Chloe. That was exactly what I needed." There was a flicker of recognition in his eyes, and my blood ran cold. Did he know? The near miss made me realize this whole charade was getting dangerous. I was getting too comfortable, and he was getting too suspicious. But I still hadn't found what I was looking for. The closure, the aha moment, it was still missing. So I decided to do one last thing. Alex had this big presentation coming up, a make or break deal for his company. He was a nervous wreck. I knew his biggest insecurity was public speaking. So, as Chloe, I spent the entire week helping him. We rehearsed his speech over and over. I gave him pointers, helped him organize his slides, and basically became his personal coach. I was using all the tricks I learned to help him through college presentations years ago. The night before the presentation, we were working late. He was exhausted and discouraged. He slumped into his chair and said, "I can't do this. I'm going to fail." And without thinking, I said, "Yes, you can. Just remember to breathe and picture everyone in their underwear. You always do great when you do that." And then, silence, the air went still. That was my line, the one I used to tell him all the time. His head snapped up. He stared at me, his eyes wide. He whispered my name, just my real name. The jig was up. I slowly took off the glasses, my heart hammering against my ribs. I just nodded. I couldn't even speak. You could cut the tension with a knife. He just kept staring, a mix of shock, confusion, and something else I couldn't quite read. I finally found my voice and explained everything. Why I did it, how I did it. I expected him to be furious, to yell, to fire me on the spot, but he didn't. He just listened. And when I was done, he laughed, a real, genuine laugh. He said it was the most insane, brilliant, and terrifying thing anyone had ever done. We ended up talking for hours, really talking for the first time since the breakup. We talked about why we fell apart, the mistakes we both made, and the people we had become since. In the end, I got my closure. It wasn't the dramatic movie scene I might have imagined. It was quiet, honest, and surprisingly peaceful. I realized he had changed, but so had I. We weren't the same people who broke up all those months ago. Going undercover taught me that sometimes you have to see things from a different perspective to truly understand them. And no, we didn't get back together. Our story was over, but this crazy experience allowed us to write a new, better ending. One based on forgiveness and understanding. The next day, I officially resigned as Chloe. And as I walked out of that apartment for the last time, I wasn't his ex-girlfriend or his assistant. I was just me, finally ready to move on. Thanks so much for watching this wild story. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more adventures. Bye!